Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to the video. Today, we got a really cool one and interesting. We're going to be talking about the time spent dead. Who has spent the most amount of time in the Overwatch League dead? And how much time is that actually combined? As well as that, who has spent the least amount of time? Who were the biggest surprises? Whole bunch of cool stuff like that. Also, I just got done watching the San Francisco Shock and London Spitfire set. It was pretty interesting. I'd say it wasn't really that close. Nubani was very fun to watch. I loved how the San Francisco Shock were running that Orisa Junkrat comp kind of to counter first hold, and they almost did. It was so close. Hureg, obviously dying right here on my screen, but he had a great set. One of the best I think we've seen so far on the Widowmaker. He gave Architect a really good run for his money, and I think he got the best of him. And, you know, if Hureg can start performing like this, he had a good game against the LA Gladiators. Lone Spitfire, they might start winning some more sets. Also, the map pool for this match just was really in their favor. We'll talk a little bit more about the set at the end of the video. But now let's go ahead and hop into the main topic, which is these deaths. So I got a notepad up here. I did a bunch of calculations, some of the most interesting things. What I did was I went into the Winston's lab stats, toggled around with the settings, figured out who dies the most per 10 minutes. So whoever dies the most per 10 minutes, that means they're going to have the highest percentage of time spent dead in the league. Alright, so let's go ahead and begin this. Starting off with the very first one, we have Roshan, who has spent the most time dead. So out of 120 players that are on this list, the only player I didn't count was KSF. He only has 5 minutes played, not enough to determine. Whoever didn't have not enough to determine, I didn't count them on this list. So there's only 120 players, and Roshan has died the most. Out of 13 hours and 14 minutes played, Roshan has spent 2 of those hours dead. That means 2 of those hours, he was literally just sitting in his chair, dead, watching his screen. That's crazy to think about. All that time added up, and that is 15.3% of the time he has played in the league was dead. That's those 2 hours. That's crazy. So that's rank 1 out of 120 players. Then moving on to rank 2, we have Undead. 13 hours, 57 minutes played total in the league. An hour of those 13 and 57 minutes was spent dead, almost 2 hours, on par with Roshan. But he has played a little bit more than Roshan, so his percentage is lower. 14.3, a whole 1 percentage drop from the first to second player. So Roshan, you're dying a lot, buddy. Which I know your main tanks die a lot. We're going to talk a little bit about that at the end of this video. But total, yeah, rank 2, we talked about that. Moving on now to the most interesting one, XQC. So out of the little time he's played, which is 4 hours and 10 minutes, 31.5 of those minutes were spent dead, which is 12.6. And another big drop, though, from rank, I believe. Okay, so yeah, we didn't put Fearless on here. So rank 2 to rank 4 is a big percentage drop, almost 2. So out of his total 4 hours, he spent 12% of that time dead. XQC, he died a lot. Now, interestingly enough, moving on to the next player, we actually have Coco, who is rank 5. He has played 8 hours and 35 minutes total in the league, and out of those 8 hours, an hour and 3 minutes was spent dead, which is 12.2%. Rank 5 again, very interesting. 2 of the Dallas Fuel main tanks up here, very high. Now moving on to the next player, another Dallas Fuel guy, rank 7 out of 120, 10 hours flat played for AKM. An hour and 12 minutes of those 10 hours was spent dead, which is 12% time played, only 0.2% less than Coco. So AKM, Coco, XQC, they die a lot. So interestingly now, looking at the top 10 of most time spent dead out of all these players, 6 of them, we have Roshan, Undead, Fearless, Freefeel, Sky, and Dia, are all in the top 10 of most time spent dead. Makes sense, right? Shanghai Dragons, worst team in the league. Now 3 of them, XQC, Coco, and AKM, are in the top 10 from the Dallas Fuel. And only 1 player from Florida Mayhem has cracked the top 10, and it's Zappies, who, only 20 minutes spent in the league. So with only 20 minutes spent in the league, I kind of questions whether I should put him in or not, but he did have a rating, and again, I only took out the players with not enough to determine, so we're going to leave Zappies in there. Now, some more interesting people from, time spent dead. We have Tavik, who has played 22 hours and 43 minutes in the league. Out of that, he has spent 1 hour and 41 minutes dead, which is 11.8%. Not as bad as some of these guys, but he's still pretty high up there at rank 12 out of 120 players. But this is the most interesting one out of all these, I think, is Fragi. He has played a total of 26 hours. You can find him down here. And he actually has the most deaths in the league. Let's see. And he also has the most deaths in the league total at 1,071. Nako's actually died a lot. So has Tavik. That's a big reason why I put Tavik on the list as well. But out of those 26 hours and 46 minutes played, he has spent 3 hours dead. Imagine that. Fragi has just sat there for a total of 3 hours so far in the Overwatch League, just dead, doing nothing. That's actually kind of mind-blowing to me. 11.1% time played was dead, so not as bad as anybody else up here. He just has way more hours played, so obviously he's going to have more hours spent dead, and he's ranked 25 out of 120. So that's pretty much the interesting things about most time spent dead. Let's move on to the least time spent dead here, which is pretty phenomenal actually. Arc sitting at number 1 rank out of 120 players with 24 hours total played. If you even look at most of these guys up here, they don't have as many hours played as Arc. 8, 6, 17 is a lot, 9, 6. But you also look at them, Diva, Snillo, Tracer player, we're going to talk about him. Animo, that's the next support player. More tanks, more Tracers, more tanks. You don't really find a support till you get to Toby. So Arc, that's pretty incredible. Now let's look at the stats. 24 hours and 22 minutes played in the league. Only 1 hour and 19 minutes spent dead. That's almost the same amount of hours played as Fragi. And he's got a third less time spent dead at only 5.4%. The lowest in the league, rank 1 out of 120 players. That's insane. Arc just does not die. The guy knows how to live. Sure, his team pills for him, but it's also incredible. Moving on to rank 2 now, which is a Diva player. As I mentioned, a lot of Diva players up here. It's going to be Huyal. With 8 hours and 46 minutes played in the league, only 30 minutes he has spent dead, which is 5.7. Now moving on to the next one, which is pretty much the first DPS player on this list, is Snillo. And this shows how good Snillo actually is. Not only because he doesn't die a lot, sitting at 3.95 deaths per 10 minutes, he gets a ton of kills, 9.17, higher than anybody up here besides SBB, which is still a considerable amount higher than, only at 8.63 for SBB, 9.7 for Snillo. So Snillo only spending 6.6 times spent in the league, the highest DPS player on this list, ranked 6 out of 120. That's a great stat for him. Round of applause for him. And now the biggest surprise on this list for me, which is actually incredible, is Muma. I have to go over this. Muma has played 23 hours and 58 minutes in the league, right? An hour and 56 minutes has been spent dead, which is only 8.1%. Ranked 27 out of 120 players. Now, why this is such a big surprise and such a big thing for me is because Muma is a main tank. Look at this. Main tank. So many main tanks up here. 4 of them. All of the main tanks are at the bottom of this list. If you look around, you'll find a lot of them. And that's because main tanks, they're the first priority for most teams. You attack the tanks, you kill the monkey, you hear the team's comms, monkey. Everybody goes for the Winston player. So the fact that Muma stays alive so much is incredible. Now, what is even more crazy and mind-blowing about this stat is Muma dies the least out of anybody on his team. Put that into perspective, guys. Here's Linkser. Jake is somewhere over here too. Here, we'll look him up. Bonnie. Right here. Cool Matt and Bonnie. You scroll up, and you find Muma right here. So Muma's up here. Here's Bonnie. Here's Cool Matt. You keep scrolling through, and you'll find the rest of the Dallas Fuel players. Or, sorry, Houston Outlaws players. Muma literally dies the least out of his whole entire team. How is that even possible? That doesn't make sense. Is he not a threat to other teams? Like, why don't people attack him? I don't understand. The most mind-blowing stat out of this, I don't know if I'm going to title this video about Muma. Obviously, it's got to be a clickbaity title, got to get the most views. But that's just crazy to me. That is mind-blowing. It's honestly spectacular. Muma literally is the only player. I mean, I'd have to go through this, which I have. And I don't see any other main tank in the league that dies the least on their team. Not even like top 2. It's phenomenal. Like, all these support players, all these Diva players. Yeah, sure, okay, Cool Matt, he could be a little bit higher. Bonnie, Boink, they could be a little bit higher, you know. The fact that Muma is still the least dying player on his team, and he's a main tank is just... that's out of this world. It doesn't make sense. Again, I don't know if other teams don't focus him, if he's not like a priority to them, they don't think he's a threat, which wouldn't make sense because you watch him play, he's great. I thought he was one of the best main tanks in the league. Definitely the best Western one. So, and this probably just proves it. I mean, oh man, that's just crazy, dude. I'm mind blown. Muma's a god. Muma's an absolute god. Snillo's a god. Arc is a god. Roshan dies a ton. And that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Let me know if you enjoyed this type of, I don't know, statistic video where I break down all this stuff. I could definitely do this more with a whole bunch of other stats. I mean, look at all this information on this website. It's absolutely crazy. Shout out to Winston's Lab. If you guys want to go on their website and do this type of stuff, you can as well. Just go to winstonslab.com. You know, free promo for them. They have a great product here. So yeah, shout out to them. And again, let me know. You want to see more of these? I'll do it. And I've been enjoying making all these videos lately. I'm going to keep trying to pump all the content out. I appreciate you guys. And one last thing, guys. For those of you who are probably waiting for the press conference tonight and the match tomorrow, we're probably going to have to put it on delay. Unfortunately, some stuff happened with Kingmykl. Some players, they're not filling up for the task. And they don't really want to play the game anymore. Yeah, I don't know. Not too much more I want to say about the situation. It's very unfortunate. It was really something I was looking forward to doing. You know, the hype was built up, and for those of you guys who are really excited about it, I'm sorry. It would have been really fun with Baby Bay, legit RC. It's just not going to happen. So let me know what you think about that down below as well. Leave a subscription, like the video, and I'm out of here, guys. Thank you for watching. Peace.